This is a stimulus update and daily news report. Got a major announcement. Paid family leave is back in the Build Back Better plan, giving up to 4 weeks of federal paid family leave. And this was news to Joe Manchin. You don't want to miss this response. Reporters actually broke the news to Joe Manchin, and Joe Manchin was completely shocked. You want to hear his response on that. Also, I'll give you an update from Premier Jayapal on the big package, saying that the package is going to pass by tomorrow, Friday. Also, we'll go over this article right here. Will people who collect Social Security be getting a fourth stimulus check? I'll give you some other more important updates as well. Hope you're having a terrific Thursday. If you appreciate the fact-based, fast-paced updates, hit the like button down below. So first, let's start with the stimulus question. Will people who collect Social Security be getting a fourth stimulus check? There's so many articles coming out on a regular basis talking about Social Security, $1,400 senior stimulus checks. At this point, there is no senior $1,400 stimulus check in the Build Back Better plan. Although they are adding a lot of last minute things, but it doesn't seem like stimulus checks are going to be on there at the moment, especially if they're trying to pass the bill within the week, within a day, as they've been saying for months at this point, but it looks like no stimulus checks are currently in there. Also, came across this article, at least 18 billionaires got federal stimulus checks. So because of tax loopholes and things like that, rich taxpayers receive stimulus checks after tapping complex tax deductions to reduce their net incomes to less than zero, qualifying them for the check. So these were the stimulus checks of $1,200 or $1,400 for anyone who made less than $75,000 as an individual. So these billionaires were able to get stimulus checks. For example, one of them is being George Soros. He got stimulus checks. He did say he returned it. And then there were 17 other billionaires who got stimulus checks. If only those stimulus checks could go to people who are more deserving of it, as well as, why are billionaires getting stimulus checks? How are they able to have zero income with billions of dollars in net worth and still able to get a stimulus check? I just don't understand it. When it comes to a fourth stimulus check, the petition for the $2,000 per month to every American, currently at 2,947,000 signatures, and still no bill, and there is no fourth stimulus check added to the big package. Speaking of the big package, the big announcement here, House Democrats add paid family leave back to proposed $1.75 trillion social safety net bill. So looks like it's back in. It's going to be up to 4 weeks, and you definitely want to check out Joe Manchin's response to this news. He found out from the reporters, not from Nancy Pelosi. Take a look at this clip right here.
House Democrats have just made a big move. Speaker Nancy Pelosi announcing today they're making a change, putting 4 weeks of paid family and medical leave back into their massive social spending package. That's despite resistance from the moderate Senator Joe Manchin of West Virginia, a Democrat who could single-handedly kill the bill in the Senate. Here's how Senator Manchin reacted when NBC's Ali Vitale broke the news to him earlier today.
House Democrats have just put paid leave 4 weeks back into their bill. Is that something you support?
I never heard. This is the first I'm hearing it.
Yeah, Pelosi just announced.
Just now.
Okay, I'm just so.
Well, hearing that, what do you think?
Well, that's a challenge. Very much of a challenge, and they know how I feel about that.
That's a challenge. Of course, Democrats can't afford to lose a single vote in the Senate, and he knows it. And if they want to pass their social spending package without any Republican support, well, they got to have him. CNBC senior congressional correspondent Ilan Moy is with us now. Paid leave is mighty popular, but not with him.
Well, that's right, Shab. Democrats are now under enormous pressure from grassroots activists to put paid leave back in this package. There have been rallies all week long in New York, near the home of Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, and here in Washington, in the cold and the drizzling rain. I spoke to one of the women who traveled here to make the case. Her name is Joanna Vance, and she has 3 kids, so family leave is important. But medical leave is also a critical part of this new proposal. She said that would have been a lifeline for her family when her husband was struggling with drug addiction and had to quit his job in the coal mines to get help.
I was much more worried about losing my kids or losing my husband to fatal overdose than I was the financial aspect, until the financial aspect actually hit us. And then I was like, well.
Now, I don't know if you can see it, but she is wearing a West Virginia sweatshirt there. Vance has been trying to get the attention of her state senator, Joe Manchin. She's talked to him before when he was back home, but here in D.C., she could only get through to his staff. Now, today, Manchin told reporters that he doesn't want to add to the national debt or push paid leave through with only Democratic support, but that he's in favor of the idea. Well, Vance said her state is struggling and the current system isn't working.
People are having to make those decisions, whether to go to treatment or to continue to down spiral in substance use disorder. And not having paid leave and being forced to either quit your job or continue working, that is a barrier to treatment, and that is a direct barrier to recovery.
Now, Vance's husband has been sober now for about 4 years. They're doing fine as a couple and a family. And Shepshe said he wanted to come to Washington with her, but he couldn't get time off from his new job either.
Ilan Moy, thank you.
What are your thoughts on Joe Manchin's response? Do you think that he is going to go along with it? This was one of those non-starters for Joe Manchin, so this looks like it may cause some problems. It looks like, well, if you look at this article right here, yesterday I announced this. I think it came out 2 days ago. Schumer announces deal on prescription drug pricing, a key obstacle to mega bill. So they got a deal on the lowering the prescription drugs so that it won't be more than $2,000 for the year for people on Medicare. So they got over that hurdle. Now the paid family leave was just added without consulting Joe Manchin. So it looks like we may have another problem. I don't know. We'll see. I'll give you an update from Pramila Jayapal in a moment. But also, Biden denies plan to pay separated migrant families up to $450,000. So this was, I guess, sort of news that was going around, but wasn't really confirmed. So Fox News correspondent Peter Doocy asked Biden on Wednesday if the payments could encourage migrants to flock to the U.S., then President Biden's response, if you guys keep sending that garbage out, yeah, but it's not true. So it looks like there is not going to be $450,000 for migrant families that are separated. When it comes to the big package, Pramila Jayapal, Progressive Caucus leader, says it could be passed by tomorrow or by the weekend. She says progressives are ready to vote on Biden agenda bills, Representative Jayapal says. Here's a video clip from her giving the latest of what's going on.
Congresswoman, thank you for joining us this morning. I heard one strategist earlier say, if hard infrastructure had passed, Terry McAuliffe would have won. What do you think?
Stephanie, it's great to see you this morning. Look, there is no way that you can blame a 12-point swing on one bill. The reality is that voters do want us to deliver. I think Youngkin appealed to parents and education. I think we have the formula to appeal to parents even more by passing a bill that provides childcare, that provides pre-K, that provides jobs. I mean, both of the infrastructure package and the Build Back Better Act, the entire agenda, the president's agenda, is about jobs. It's about families. It's about rescuing people. And I also just would reject the idea that Congress hasn't done anything and we don't have anything, that candidates don't have anything to run on. Every single candidate could run right now on the American Rescue Plan, which was a phenomenal achievement that Congress got done with not a single Republican vote. With only Democratic votes and tight margins, we delivered shots in arms under President Biden's leadership. We delivered millions of dollars to small businesses under President Biden's leadership. We delivered real money in people's pockets with those survival checks under President Biden's leadership and Democrats in the House and the Senate. So my message now is let's get these two bills done. It's actually been the same message I've had for a couple of weeks. Let's get the two bills done. We will then be able to really appeal to families and say, we do understand your economic pain, and that's why we're going to lower costs for working families across this country, with childcare, with pre-K, with housing, with healthcare, with prescription drug pricing, which we just got negotiated, which was amazing, an amazing step forward. Not everything we wanted, but a big start on prescription drug pricing. Those are the things that people want to see us get done, and we're going to pass both of these bills this week.
You do think this week both are going to get passed?
I do. I really do. I think that there's a lot of unity. I have been working, as you said, very hard to deliver all of our Congressional Progressive Caucus members to vote on a bipartisan infrastructure bill, which some of them weren't too thrilled about, but everybody understands we got to get both these bills done, and we are going to get both these bills done.
Our last night's results a warning that Democrats should change their messaging, their strategy. Think about it. Jamie Harrison, Terry McAuliffe, both moderates who lost, but Republicans painted them as progressives.
Well, I think that the most important thing is we can never run just on anti-Trump. That is not a message that voters are going to resonate to. We have to run on the things we do when voters deliver us majorities in the House, the Senate, and the White House. And so that, I think, is a really important lesson. I think that there was a kind of an attempt to nationalize the race around Trump, but that's not what voters are looking at. They're looking at, can I get childcare so I can go back to work? I mean, women pushed out of the workforce in record numbers over the last 2 years, still haven't returned to the workforce, still can't afford childcare, still don't have pre-K, still don't have health care. These are the things that we can deliver right now to people, and we should. And we also shouldn't make last night's, we should pay close attention to them, don't get me wrong, important for us to deliver. We also just shouldn't assume that that's the course to be. We can change the course by delivering results today that appeal to families who are struggling right now.
We are living, though, in a world of short-termism. And while plans may be in place to create major changes that will help us in the long term, people vote based on what affects them today. And thus far, I have to be honest. I mean, I just interviewed the Treasury Secretary 2 weeks ago. And when I brought up inflation, she kind of brushed it off. And we haven't heard many Democratic lawmakers prioritize gas prices, grocery prices. And these are things that people are talking about every day. They're washing their dishes because their broken dishwasher, they can't get a new one for 2 months. That impacts them today, and people vote based on today.
I couldn't agree with you more. I think that's absolutely right. We have to recognize the pain, and in the Build Back Better agenda, what we are doing is cutting costs for working families. Average working families will see their costs go down because they won't have to pay for childcare, because they will have affordable housing, because their prescription drugs will cost less, and because there is going to be a tax increase on the wealthiest corporations to start to pay their fair share. So you're exactly right. We do have to recognize the pain, and we have to run local, Stephanie. I mean, the thing is, people want to see us paying attention to what's going on in their lives. And so as we think about the work that we have to do in Congress, we should be thinking about what is it that is going to make people, and I've been saying this for months, what is it that is going to make people wake up and feel differently about their lives and their livelihoods? And in my mind, it is costs. You're absolutely right. And it is about lowering those costs for middle-class families and working families and poor people across this country. That's what the Build Back Better agenda does. And that's why we're working so hard to get it passed this week.
Then before we go, are you prepared then to lose other voters? Look at the state of New Jersey, where voters said, I don't want to run the risk that my taxes go up. I'm concerned about my property taxes. I'm concerned about SALT and whether maybe that SALT deduction gets put back in. Maybe people making $400,000 or more won't be taxed. But they feel like over the last few months, that's been talked about. And for those who live in those high tax states, those suburban women who didn't vote for Donald Trump, who voted for Joe Biden, are now saying, this doesn't work for me. Are you prepared to lose that voter?
No, I don't think we're going to lose that voter. I think we're going to get some sort of a
Phil Murphy lost that voter. Phil Murphy lost that voter last night.
Well, look, I mean, it was the Republicans who ended the SALT deduction. I have sympathy for that perspective because I think we have to be addressing the issue of the wealthiest paying their fair share. But I think that in this bill, there will be everyone will come together and there will be some sort of a compromise on SALT that hopefully is revenue neutral and that doesn't, that doesn't sort of say we're going to prioritize one wealthy person over another. Let's just all pay fair shares and we'll fix that and we'll get a fix to, I believe we'll get a fix to these things and we'll be able to move forward with 2 packages that address many of the things that people are concerned about.
All right. Monday morning, I invite you back. You think both these are getting passed by Friday?
Yes. I'm working hard on it. I believe we're going to get it done. I really do. And you know, Stephanie, I don't say things without having some reason for believing them. So So yeah, we're going to get them done. And look, it's been a hard, it's been hard because negotiations that play out in the public eye in Washington D.C. Are messy. I mean, democracy is a bit of that's what it is. It's about the negotiation. And the key thing is, in a couple of weeks, nobody's going to remember these 3 weeks that we've been negotiating on these bills, but they are going to see their childcare costs go down. They are going to be able to get back to work. They are going to see their prescription drug pricing costs go down. They are going to see us taking on climate change, something very, very important to young people and all of us across the country, including those of us that live in states where we've had wildfires blazing and floods coming in and record things happening because of climate change. So we are going to get this done, and everybody just hang on a little bit longer. We are to the end of the road here.
Honestly, it seems that Pramila Jayapal has said continuously, seems like for months, that the bill is going to pass within a day or two. They're ready to vote. She may be ready to vote, the progressives may be ready to vote, but the moderates are not ready to vote. I don't know how many times she's going to say that it's going to be voted on within a day. It's ready. But it is, and it's kind of frustrating. It's frustrating for me. It's frustrating for you to watch. It's frustrating for the American people to constantly be told one thing, lied to, and then something else happens. Deadlines keep going by. What are your thoughts on that? Anyways, that is all the stimulus news I have for you today to hopefully brighten your day a bit. Here's my daughter Bella's tip of the day.
Hi guys, my name is Bella. This is the tip of the day. If you make a mistake, then it's okay. You learn from your mistake, it makes you a better person. So it's okay. It's okay. We still love you. We like you a lot. Bye.
Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate all of your support. You see that I'm tired. I'm really tired. For whatever reason, last night at 3 in the morning, our smoke detectors went off 3 different times between 3 and 4 a.m. We had all the lights on. There was no smoke. Gas stoves were turned off. Nothing was on. No candles, nothing. And so then we went back to sleep, and then the alarms detectors went off again 3 times. I tried disabling everything. So yeah, I'm really exhausted from last night. But anyways, besides that, all is good. If you want to check out any of my other videos, you could click up here or down here, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, be safe. Thank you for watching.